Hi everyone and welcome, my name is Dora and this is my 9th update to pan those eyeshadows. So in this project I work on 6 different eyeshadows with the goal of hitting pan, and 5 of them are randomized, and whereas the last one up until last update always came from my focus palette, I have now, as per Chloe's suggestion, I will link her Instagram account in the description box, I'm now hand selecting that final shade. I'm super excited and I've got 3 rollouts today, so let's just get straight into the update. So this shade here is called Ductile and it comes from my Revolution Pro Passion palette. It's a purple pressed glitter, and at my last update it looked like this and I had used it 6 times. I've now used it a further 6 times and here is what it's looking like today. So I've got a nice pan in there. Thank you so much. Someone made a comment to use this as nail polish. I tried that and I think that's why I was able to hit pan within 12 uses. On another pressed glitter from another Revolution Pro palette, it took me 17 uses. So yeah, the nail polish thingy definitely helped. I'm super happy that I've got another pan in here. This means that this palette has now got 4 pans. One here in Aura, Mum and Spoiled as well. So that feels really good, and I will be randomizing a new shade later on in this video. Moving on to my I Heart Revolution Pineapple palette, I rolled in the shade Syrup, and this was the shade that I hand selected. So it's a really nice pink shimmer, and here's what it was looking like last time. So I obviously hadn't used it yet because it just rolled in. And after 10 uses, I have got pan on this today. This was super flaky. It's a very dry yet soft formula. So a lot of the time I just dab my finger into the pan and put it on top of my eyelids. When I saw that there was like a nice dip starting to form, I started using a brush and that obviously helped massively. Just 10 uses, and also considering that at least one of them was lower lash line. I'm so happy to have my first pan in this palette, and since this was the hand selected shade, I get to hand select another one. The next shade comes from this Urban Decay Prince palette, also called You Got the Look, and it's called Endorphinmachine, and it's this very shimmery gold shade. I also rolled this in at the last update, and today I'm at 9 uses. So here is what Endorphinmachine is looking like. This is actually competing with another gold shimmer in my Pan That palette, but I didn't really pay attention to that last time when I rolled it in. And we had somewhat of a wild ride trying to select 3 new shades, I think it was back then, yeah. So I'm sticking with it though. I quite enjoy this. I've worn this quite a few times all over my lid. I've had some looks where I wore it as an inner corner thingy highlight. The next shade comes from my Creator Revolution Forever Limitless Nude Rain palette here, a 27 pan palette. I actually filmed a look with this palette and the previous one, the Urban Decay Prince one as well, in my palettes I'd like to pan. It's like a pre-selection for my Pan That palette 2024 if you're interested. I'll link it here. The shade I selected was a shade called Swim, which looks like this, and I'm wearing this on my eyelids today, all over the lid. I also wrote this in at the last update and I'm also at 9 uses. And here is what Swim is looking like today. So I definitely have a dip in there, but comparing it to Talent, where I've already hit pan, I would say I'm probably about halfway there. Yeah, maybe another 8-9 uses. The next shade is a matte shade from this Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette, and it's called Haze. So Haze has been in here for a couple of months already. At my last update, I was only at 5 uses. Today I am at 7 uses, so I've only used it twice more. Here's a swatch of Haze as well, and it's lovely. I've been able to pair it with blue shades, blue shimmer shades, blue matte shades, darker ones, from both palettes that I've got in projects on Instagram for No Pan Left Behind, and also with my Level 2 palette. Yes. But to be honest with you, and I will speak to that later on, my pan percentage is a bit of a mess right now. Actually, why not talk about it now? I need to hit another 23 pans before the end of the year in order to make my target. Now, I'm not one of those people who can do that within 1 month without batting an eyelid. This is hard for me. I think that's how many pans I've possibly had in all of last year. I can already tell you I have hit 27 or 28 pans already up until today. Some of them are not eyeshadows, but the vast majority eyeshadows. These matte eyeshadows in Huda Beauty, if you've got this palette, you know this. These are notoriously hard to hit pan in. This is the 3rd matte shade I've had in this project this year. I've already kicked out Vortex and Hot Mess. I gave like Hot Mess a fair chance of a few months. But yeah, I do always allow myself to veto a shade 1 per month. And this is the one that I'm going to veto this month. So after just 7 uses, it's time to say goodbye. But I'd much rather be working on something that is easier to hit pan in to make my 10% goal, pan percentage goal. We've got one last shade to talk about, and that comes from my XX Revolution Bare Luxe Shadow Palette. And the shade is called Golden. I also wrote this in at my last update, and here is a swatch of it. I'm wearing this on my outer lids today, and I am at 6 uses. It's a really nice dip starting to form. This shade is very, very powdery. I'm very confident this can be a rollout next time, and I can hit that pan probably within maybe 4 uses, something like that. I've already hit pan in this shade here and this shade here. Neutral and Earth also within this project this year. So yeah, although Golden is at 6 uses, I think definitely a rollout for next time. But it's staying in, and we've got a very neutral color story so far. So let's see what the panning gods are gonna do for me. I've got 583 eligible shades, and I'm gonna be rolling 2 from that list. And then the 3rd shade to replace Syrup here, I'm gonna select myself once I know what I'm dealing with. All right, let's do this. Okay, the first shade is number 83. Let's take a quick look. Shade number 83 comes from a palette I've just rolled out, this one. And it's a shade I've never used yet called Sweet. And it's this shade here. I really like it. It's a matte shade. Very nice, sort of. It's pink with a hint of peach in there. I really like it. Oh yes. This is right up my alley. At first I was a bit disappointed because I thought, I want a different palette, but no, I'm happy with this shade. No complaints whatsoever. Let's do the next one. Shade number 126. And this comes from another Revolution palette, the Eutopia palette, and it's called Enamour. Okay, let me take a look. Here's the palette. I'm working on this No Pan Left Behind style at the minute for 50 Shades of Gold on Instagram. And I've used this specific shade already. And here it is. I've had this palette in the project since April, I think since the intro. But it's a very pretty mauvey purple shimmer. And here's a swatch of that. It's definitely different enough to Golden. Yeah, all right. I mean, I think I was gonna say I'm gonna use like some kind of pop of color now, but I might not, because I think I'm just gonna try and play it safe. And I don't know, maybe I'll convince myself of something different. I think this could be a good moment to look at my pan percentage now. Like I said, took a massive hit. Number one, because I decluttered my Focus palette that had pans in it. That obviously made my pan percentage drop quite a bit. And secondly, I got quite a few palettes from the lovely Ruth Foley, who's also here on YouTube. I've linked her channel here as well as down below, so you can go and check her out. Yeah, I'm so grateful for that. I've spent a lot of time recently just opening them up, just looking at them. If you watch my next No by Project Pan update, I will be showing all of those palettes, anything that's joined my collection. This was quite a fun color story. Definitely, I liked it. I guess this is kind of good for autumn. I have 2 mattes in here already and 3 shimmers. Kind of inclined to pick another shimmer out because I think that could be super fun and kind of easy. I mean, would it be cheating to... I did sort of think I'd pick something from this palette here, the Jewel Glow palette, also by Revolution, and to go for this one here because I've got 16 uses on this shade here already. And I think this could be like a really easy pan, and that might then motivate me to keep going. Here's a swatch of it. It's definitely different enough to everything else I've got going on. It looks kind of cohesive. Yeah, even though I think I will go with that, I do need some motivation. So like I said, 23 more pans. That's basically about 8 per month. That's a lot for me. Okay, hopefully I will have a few rollouts next time. Swim in Golden, definitely. Maybe even Endorphinmachine. I'm sure I can have this one. It's just shade number 1. I'm sure I can have that one out. Who knows? Who knows? So thank you so much for watching all the way until the end, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I'm sending you so much love. Take care. Bye. Mwah.